Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Algo. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. In the previous video, we covered a couple of different counts. Now, I'm going to just go over this one first, and then we're going to carry on with the one of looking for continuation to the downside. So I'm just being mindful that as long as we remain between this zone of this 1387 and this 1606, we could still see the potential of a flat correction here. So this would still be looking for a fourth wave here, looking for this to be potentially an A wave. This is a B and then a C wave to the upside. Now, if this is the case, we could see this potentially move up towards this 1-to-1 if this is going to be a running flat, or alternatively, if we are looking to actually become an expanding flat, one of these higher areas here between this 41.44 to this 32.59 could be a potential zone we could look to actually move up to. Now, what we would want to see within this is basically this just play out as a three-wave move. Now, there is also the potential of a diagonal here, so we need to just bear that in mind. We're going to have to see how we react off of this if this does actually play out. Now, the way I would be looking at this is treating this rather as having an extension in the wave 1. Now, this is valid for as long as the wave 5 stays above this 1409, and this would be treating this basically as this higher move here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then looking for this fifth wave to the downside. So 1-to-1 of this as a the A wave is actually here at this 1434, so this would be above that zone. So we'll be keeping an eye on this area if we do move into there. If we do start to reverse to the upside in 5-wave structure, this could give us an indication that we could actually be looking for either a bigger ABC to the upside or potentially a 5-wave move up. Now, if we are talking about this, what we would be looking for within these final waves here is basically something like this. So I'm going to come down here into the hourly now, and we're going to discuss these internals and these micro counting here. Now, we always need to be cautious with micro counting. We need to allow for the fact that, you know, within these, sometimes there can be extensions that aren't apparent yet, or we could have wave structure slightly out, and we might not get the additional waves. So we need to just bear that in mind. We need to wait for the confirmation of these structures. Now, what I'm looking for here is effectively this is a 1, 2, this is a 3, looking for a fourth wave to the upside. So what I want to see here is a additional fourth wave somewhat comparable to this wave 2 here. So if we do start to range sideways here, what I would be looking for is some kind of a corrective structure which could look to bring us back into the zone of this 1557 to this 1511. Now, because this has been quite a strong drop, it is possible we might not reach these higher levels of this 1557. We could even just move back up here to this 0.236, which is sitting in line with this previous structure here. So that would be a zone I'd be keeping an eye on. If we did, however, move up higher here, potentially this 1537 could be a zone we would look at. Moving above this 1557 would make this less likely. So what we're looking for here is the potential of this forming an additional fourth wave to the upside, a 5-wave move down for this green fifth wave here, and then the potential to actually find another fourth and a fifth. So if I overlay these two counts here now, what we could see is that within this, we aren't allowed to cross this 1409. Now, if we did get a push to the upside here for this additional fourth and a fifth, what we could see is that this would actually bring us towards this 1427 to this 1397. As long as we remain above this line, the idea of reversal to the upside as a flat becomes possible. However, if we start to cross this, it becomes more probable that we are starting to extend it to the downside. So going to be keeping an eye on these levels and seeing what happens and how the reaction actually plays out. Now, what we were talking about as well within the previous video was the fact that we could actually be extending out here. Now, the way we were looking at this is that basically within this, we were counting this slightly different, where this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and that actually the fifth wave is extending out. Now, this is not as common, but it is possible. So we need to just be aware of that fact. From here as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then looking for this as a fifth of the green wave count, and then looking for an additional fourth and a fifth. Now, the internals of this are much the same. What we'd be looking for is that additional fourth and a fifth, an additional fourth and a fifth, and then we'd be looking for the possibility of a corrective move to the upside. So what we need to bear in mind here is that if we do get this move down here towards this 1425 to this 1391, a 3-wave move to the upside would indicate that we are probably going to see continuation down again. Now, if we did get a rejection again between this 1620 to this 1507, I would be looking for continuation towards this 1371 to this 1309. Now, because of the fact that we have extension here, it is possible that we could actually be looking at this as rather a third wave extension. So we did talk about it in the previous video, and what that would look at like is something like this, where actually this is 1 2, this is 1 2 1 2. Now this would mean that we're still within the bigger third wave here. So this would mean we are within this orange third wave, which if I just zoom out here would be easier to see, where we're actually looking at this as a 1 2. Now the reason that I don't like this is because this would have been a very shallow 1 2 here. You know, the wave 2 is very shallow here. So this, if this is the case, this would indicate that wave 4 would be quite a sharp move. Now this is only valid really if we do move down towards this 1348. So if we do start to break down here in a bigger way, and we meet this 1348 area, this would then make me believe that we are actually extending within this third wave, in which case this would be 1 2 3 4 5. We'd be looking then for an additional fourth and a fifth, and an additional fourth and a fifth. Now this could actually look to push us down as low as this 1221 to this 1171. The important thing here with impulses when they are extending is we have to take it one level at a time and just map the counts as they develop. If we fail to achieve the additional fourth wave and it starts to break up too high, then that would be the first indication that we are looking to actually invalidate this. So really, if we did move down to this 1340 to this 1229 in a 5-wave move, what we'd want to see is this fourth wave come back up and challenge this previous fourth wave area. Starting to move too high above this makes this move less likely to actually be within the count that we are following. So this is what we are looking for here. The idea that from further back here, this is a 1 2, and we'd actually be looking for this lower zone here of this 0 1 4 3 as a confirmation that this is 1 2 3 4, and then this would potentially mean that we have a 5-wave move looking to possibly complete towards this 0970 to this 0862. So this is basically the bearish scenario here, where we're looking for a bigger sell-off to the downside. So we do still have that possibility of that flat. We do have this possibility of this breakdown. Now the key thing here, if we are following this breakdown, we should see these swing highs stay intact. Now if we do continue down here one more time, like I said, into these lows, what we'd be expecting is minor retracements before continuation, and really the key goal here would be this 1043 as a third wave for this count. Now the other way we discussed it was the possibility of the diagonal. This is still a potential here, where we could actually see this move become a diagonal pattern, and what we'd be looking for would be pretty much the same thing as the idea of this being an ABC for a flat. We'd want to see this become 1 2 3 4 and 5. Now if we are looking at this as a potential diagonal, invalidation of this move as a diagonal pattern would come by a drop below this 1047. So as long as we're above that, we can still look for the potential that we could see 3-wave structure play out here, 3 waves to the upside, 3 waves back to the downside. So this is going to be the key difference between this count and the flat, is that if we are looking at a flat correction here, where this is an A, this is a B, and we're looking for a C, what we would want to see is a 5-wave move off the back of this, a 3-wave move to the downside, and then reaching that 1.618. We need to be very careful that until we actually break out of this zone, we need to be aware that there is that possibility of just having a 3-wave move up and then another 3-wave move to the downside. So the key thing here is that if this is going to be a contracting diagonal here, possibly we could see this 4th wave play out towards this 2135 if we do come towards this 1-to-1. Now if we do move up higher past this zone of this 2695, this would invalidate the potential of the diagonal pattern here. So we're going to have to just give it a bit of space and see exactly how the waves play out. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.